Come with me to North Carolina for the annual Dysautonomia International Conference. Let's do it.
I'm going as part of the Vitassium team, and this marks our 8th year as a sponsor and participating in the conference. The Dysautonomia International Conference is the world's largest conference on autonomic disorders, and it brings together many groups that help shape the medical system: patients, researchers, physicians, industry representatives like Vitassium, and more. Unlike most electrolyte options, Vitassium was created for you. Our mission is simple: to support the chronic illness community. Our electrolytes are specifically and exclusively meant to help manage symptoms of chronic illnesses like POTS, OH, VVS, and more. Our commitment to this mission is personal because the majority of the Vitassium team lives with the very conditions we aim to help our community manage. We deeply value our partnership with Dysautonomia International and the connections we build with patients and providers, because chronic illness isn't just their reality, it's ours too, and that's what sets us apart. We need to talk about how much preparation and planning ahead has to go into traveling when you're chronically ill and disabled. Chronic illness is unpredictable. Our symptoms are unpredictable. We have to prepare for every possible scenario. When I'm traveling, I try to consider, what can I do that will make my life as easy as possible? One of the major things I always make sure to do is request wheelchair assistance. A lot of times there's a different accessibility entrance, which means that you get through TSA and security way faster. Since you have wheelchair assistance, you'll also have someone helping you get through security. They usually will handle your bags, put them on the conveyor belt, which really lightens the load and hopefully helps you save some spoons.
I'm now waiting at my gate, and when I tell you I would not have made it here without wheelchair assistance, I would not have made it here. It took 25 minutes just to get from security to my gate. I never would have made it if I didn't get wheelchair assistance. So if you feel like that's something you'd benefit from, super easy. You can either request it when you make your reservation through the airline, or when you're checking your bags, you can often request it there too.
It was at this point that I became pretty symptomatic. I had a headache. I felt like I was overheating.
Found a better seat, but it's much closer to people, so I decided to switch into my N95, and of course I'll be wearing this on the plane for sure.
When it was time to get on the plane, I was so relieved, one step closer to getting to North Carolina so I could rest. And then the universe laughed at me and things went sideways.
So as you can see, I am no longer on the plane. It was by choice. It is currently 3:54 and we boarded the plane at like 1:45ish or possibly like 2 p.m. So we sat there for a long time. It got so hot. They've been having technical issues. They haven't been able to figure it out. So I asked to be let off the plane because it was so hot. And even with my neck fan and the air blowing on me, I was just really not doing well. I started having syncope. So they let me and a couple of other people off the plane. So we're just hanging out at the gate and hopefully they get it figured out soon. And then once they get it figured out, they'll call us and we'll get back on the plane. So I had to bring all my stuff with me, which is exhausting. I've just lost a lot of spoons today just from being in the airport.
To make things even worse, my N95 broke.
I have reached laying on the floor with my legs up stage of traveling and I'm not having a good time.
Here's your reminder to get your needs met regardless of where you are.
It is now almost 5 p.m. We've been delayed for almost 4 hours and they just announced they are deboarding the whole plane and they have to find a new pilot. They have no ETA. Who knows how long it's going to be. I'm alternating sitting on the floor and lying down on the floor. This is really testing like my mental and emotional fortitude and obviously my physical health. Like traveling when you're chronically disabled can already be so stressful and it feels that way even when things go as planned and under normal circumstances. So then you add in delays, boarding, deboarding, reboarding, very hot, crowded environment. It's just like a nightmare.
I was so relieved I thought to pack my Vitassium electrolyte FastChews in my carry-on. I was heavily reliant on them throughout this day. Leaving Chicago attempt number 2.
It's almost like I was just in the sea.
I'm not good at flying. My POTS doesn't like it. I realized very recently that I'm most likely fainting several times whenever I fly, but that's a story for another time. One preventative measure I always take when I'm flying is wearing compression socks. But why? Because they help reduce blood pooling. First, blood pooling is common in dysautonomias with orthostatic intolerance like POTS and OH. And it happens because the dysfunctional autonomic nervous system cannot coordinate the balancing act that is blood vessel constriction and the heart rate response. So what that means is, in a lot of dysautonomia patients, blood pools in the lower parts of their body, their legs and feet, because their blood vessels don't squeeze tight enough to push the blood back up to the heart. It's at that point that we start to see that increase in heart rate, the heart rate becoming faster and faster in a desperate attempt to compensate for the lack of efficient blood vessel constriction. Now, these responses are even more impaired on flights because of the reduced movement and cabin pressure, which makes blood pool in the legs more easily. Compression from compression socks aids in that blood vessel constriction, which helps blood get back up to the heart and brain, which can then reduce symptoms like lightheadedness, dizziness, heart palpitations, nausea, and more.
Today has been such a day. I first left my apartment in Chicago at 10:30. I didn't get to the hotel in North Carolina until 10:15, so it was essentially a 12-hour day of just going. But I made it here. I'm proud of myself that I only cried once. That's 1 point for me. I'm going to take a nice hot shower. I need to give you a little tip. If you're ever traveling, ask the front desk if they have any shower chairs. I just said, do you have any shower chairs by any chance? When I was checking in at the front desk. And they said, actually, we think that we might. So I probably had been in my room for 5 minutes when they came knock, 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 and they installed the shower chair for me. And that's something that I feel like not a lot of people know is a possibility. So if you think you'd benefit from using a shower chair while you're staying in a hotel, don't be afraid to ask the front desk. Don't be afraid to get your needs met. Okay, I'm gonna go shower. It's gonna be amazing. See you after. Let's take our medications. Don't forget to take your medications. Here's a trick. If you take pills and they get stuck in your throat, chase them with a little snack. Some nights I can do them great, like now. Other nights I'm like, ooh. Serving you chronic illness realness 24/7. And now it's time for bed. Already brushed and flossed my teeth, so I'm gonna try to get to sleep and I'll see you in the morning. Friday morning and I feel really bad. I just feel so lethargic and I have a lot of widespread pain in my joints. I have a headache. Yesterday was so rough. Fortunately, light day today. Don't really have anything until 6 p.m. when I have to go to registration. So I'm gonna just try to take it easy, do some editing, and hopefully I can get some spoons back before tomorrow and Sunday, which will be really long days. Don't forget to take your medications like me, but better late than never, I say. Cheers.
Now, this is a 4-day work trip, so we're going to be pulling long days. One of my greatest challenges in being chronically ill and disabled is when I'm doing something I love, like I love my job, I forget to pace myself. And I know I'm not alone in that. Pacing is a huge part of navigating life with chronic illness. So here are some tips for pacing. Schedule rest into your day and rest in between tasks even when you feel well. Practice switching, where you alternate between tasks that demand a different type of energy or use different muscle groups. For example, you might fold laundry for 5 minutes, rest for 15 minutes, then read for 10 minutes. Do half of what you feel capable of. Plan your schedule around your limitations and the times of day you feel best. Pay attention to your internal cues with the goal of stopping a task before you hit your limit. Delegate or simplify tasks. For example, use pre-chopped ingredients to make cooking easier. Set boundaries when you can. It's okay to say no or cancel plans. Be gentle with yourself. Pacing can be difficult or even impossible sometimes. You're not going to do it perfectly, and that's okay.
Let's go to registration.
After I went to registration, I went to check out the hydration station they had set up. It had a couple different kinds of water, several different fruits, some spices, kind of a fun mocktail station.
I just got back to my room. I'm a very sweaty girl. I forgot my neck fan. Will not be making that mistake again. I already met a couple of people that follow me, which is very, very exciting. And I'm just really, really looking forward to tomorrow, even though we have a very early start. I'm about to get ready for bed. Tomorrow's going to be a big, long day. 7 a.m. start. We're gonna do our best. Thanks for traveling with me from Chicago to North Carolina for the Dysautonomia International Conference. I'll see you for part 2 where the fun really begins. Good night.